Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Appraisal Buzzcast. If you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed and you'll get notified of the latest episodes. I'm Jim Morrison. Today we have Joan Trice, CEO and founder of Allterra Group, Nikki Rinkus, staff appraiser at Clario, and Jeff Allen, president of Cubicasa. We'll be discussing new technology in the appraisal industry and what appraisers need to know about the future of appraisals. Joan, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Jim, and good morning and welcome, Jeff and Nikki. So
Hi,
what are we going to talk about today? I think all this new stuff going on that has a lot of anxious appraisers because we all know how much they love change. And I think that's just humans, period. It's not isolated to just the appraisal profession. And it always seems like they come in clusters too. I've noticed. So now we have ANSI, which is new. We have desktops, which is new. And so I guess let's start out with ANSI. Jeff, tell us, why do you think that Fannie Mae adopted the standard and why is it important?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think what it really stems back to is a desire for the GSEs and Fannie Mae in particular at this point to have consistent, high quality data that feeds into the housing ecosystem. And, absent the recent change for ANSI, appraisers have been, I would say doing a very good job with GLA calculations and with square footage over the years. But from appraiser to appraiser, even within the same local market, you can find, some inconsistencies in how they would apply GLA principles, and having spoken to many appraisers myself over the years about what their measuring process is. And even for something as simple as how do you treat where you apply the square footage of stairs and stairwells, which floor should it go on? You'll often find, again, pre-ANSI that, many appraisers, one appraiser was taught one way 30 years ago and the appraiser across the street was taught a different way. And so they've been doing it differently. And for the GSEs who really are the backbone of managing risk, of collateral risk for the housing ecosystem, that inconsistency gives them some concern.
The square footage of a house is one of the biggest, most important features of the house.
Yeah, so it informs the process. What comps you choose,
Exactly.
It really does inform the process. So you have, it's basically the location, square footage, and condition. Those are the three major things you look at. So that's one of the trifecta, I think, of the appraisal. So it is important. And we have come up with a lot of different ways to measure a house. Starting with the tape measure where you need two people, and then going to the rolly tape thing, or the wheel. And then having to switch to the laser. And now we have a new technology, which, you can just use your phone and scan the house and it magically spits out a floor plan for you. So we've come a long way, I think, as far as that goes. And I think we're finally at one of the most reliable techniques that out of all those that can be consistent across the board.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try the Cubicasa app on my own house just to see. Everybody else I've talked to has already done it. So I guess I'm now going to have to.
And then you could go back.
I don't want anybody calling me a Luddite, even though I'm not an appraiser out in the field. Still think it looks like fun to me. So
have you measured your own house physically using other techniques before?
No, I haven't.
I've done that.
I've only been in my house a little over a year, so it's been appraised a couple of times already. So it's not.
You can cross-check those. Then.
Yeah, it's not a difficult house to measure, so I'm pretty sure they're spot on. But now I'm trying to even remember. I think one of the appraisers actually did use as Jim was referencing earlier, the manila envelope, sketching it out by hand on the back. I guess they go back to the office and do the hard stuff. Well, let's do this. Let's break for a commercial message. And when we come back, we're going to talk about desktop appraisals.
One of the easiest appraisal tools, the Cubicasa app, allows anyone, even a homeowner or agent with a smartphone, to generate an ANSI-aligned digital GLA with a 5-minute scan. Moreover, it comes with high fidelity, detailed floor plan with interior walls, which are required for hybrid and desktop assignments. Appraisers love this app because they can also complete traditional appraisals for complex properties with ease. The best part is your first scan is free. Sign up today and get your free scan at Cubicasa.com.
Welcome back, everybody. So Jeff and Nikki, let's talk about your experience with desktops thus far, since they're brand new.
Yeah, Nikki, you want to go first?
Well, I mean, I haven't had much of the new Fannie Mae desktop work, but I've had a lot of experience with the hybrid, which was it's just slightly different. I guess the difference is in the level of information you get in the report. So we have like a property data collection, and then the desktop is just desktop data collection. And it's only done on purchases, I guess. So you also have the benefit of using the MLS if it's an active listing or pending listing. For me, it does, I do find that it saves time in the field. I get to focus more on the nuts and bolts of the appraisal, the actual valuations, and not going out and having to measure and all that stuff. And then now using the technologies like Cubicasa or other measuring apps, you can trust, you can really feel that the sketch is reliable. I remember doing some of the first hybrids, and the brokers or whoever the inspectors were going out and just hand drawing and measuring themselves. And I had a little problem with that, because I've been, doing this for 30 years. So I trust my own hand measuring, but I was like, how is this broker going to come in who's never measured a home and be able to do it to the level that I need to feel comfortable with?
Right.
So I think that going from the original hybrids to now these Fannie Mae accepting this type of bifurcated process, I think this has come a long way, and I think appraisers should be ready to embrace it, because it's not going to go away at this point.
No, I agree. Yeah, we're going to have a whole spectrum of new products, and based on the risk, and it's just natural progression and
still evolving.
Yes, exactly. And so we need to have a more dynamic response, I think, as these new products roll out. So the desktops are allowed on just purchases. So the volume at this stage is probably not all that tremendous, especially given the rates.
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah, we're just getting started in that product, no question. I think what we see is that there are some early lenders who really see the benefit and have jumped in. Some other major lenders are kind of in the process of getting their systems ready to deploy it. But since we are just honestly about a month since it was formally launched, I would say the industry is still kind of in preparation mode for it. Lender systems are like big battleships. They're hard to move quickly, but once they move to where they want to go, they go in a big way. So still early days, but I think, as Nikki mentioned, there's been a lot of hybrids done, which is a really similar workflow for an appraiser. There's been a lot of those done the last couple of years. So I think there are a lot of appraisers who are doing those in a big way, doing a lot of volume for hybrids. And those appraisers, I think, are the ones who will probably jump into desktops first, because they do have that experience and comfort with it. And Nikki, I think you'd be in that category as well. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I would actually prefer the desktops in a way, because like I said, it's on a property that's currently listed in the MLS. You have all that extra information. I mean, you're not just relying on one source. You have a current listing as well to kind of go back and forth with, and then you choose the information that you want to. I mean, we've been doing exterior appraisals, other kinds of desktops for years.
Right.
And we know how to sift through information and take the best information out there and utilize it in the reports. So
Nikki, you're a field appraiser. So why do you think that so many appraisers, why do they feel threatened by desktops? The fact that it's new, unknown?
I think it's more to do with, the reduced fee gives them pause, because they feel like I'm still taking all the liability for this report. I'm putting my name on it. I'm producing a valuation product, the information. I have to do almost the same amount of work anyways. Also trust in the information that they're given.
Property data collector, right?
Yeah. And then the third thing I think is they really see this as another movement towards the elimination of appraisers in general, that we're just going to go to somehow as a process where you never need a human appraiser again. And this is the beginning of the end,
Right.
which we've been saying
for
25 years,
30 years now. Yeah. I
right,
know.
right.
Yes.
So those are the hurdles we have to get over if we want to try and bring some of these people on board and get them comfortable with the process.
Right. I agree. So Jeff, from a high level perspective, what are you hearing from your lender clients and others out in the ecosystem?
What I think is really common amongst lenders that we talk to today is that everybody recognizes that there is a need to migrate to these new product offerings, and it's not just the desktop, but it's also things like the hybrid. And then also Freddie Mac recently announced their ACE plus PDR product, which is kind of a data collection instead of a full traditional appraisal, because there is, even though interest rates have risen and so appraisal volumes down a bit in 2022, everybody recognizes that's kind of short term and that we still have some structural kind of capacity constraints in the appraisal process that we have to address. So I would say that the urgency to like drop everything you're doing as a lender and get on these new products, in 2022 is a little reduced because the market's come down a bit in volume. And sadly, a lot of lenders right now are, thinking about things like layoffs.
Right.
But everybody still recognizes like, hey, we really need to take these steps and move towards this because we still need these options. We still have kind of this capacity constraint that we need to address long term.
No, I understand. That makes sense. Well, let's take another quick break.
The Appraisal Institute offers a wide array of affiliations from the candidate for designation and practicing affiliate statuses to designated membership and student affiliations. Whether you're a lawyer, banker, assessor, graduate student, or a certified appraiser, the Appraisal Institute is the premier global profession association among a myriad of professionals, either directly or indirectly connected with the appraisal industry. Become a member today and find out more at appraisalinstitute.org.
Welcome back, everybody. So, Jeff, if I'm an appraiser in the field and my order isn't coming from Clear Capital, is Cubicasa available to any appraiser in the field to use to develop a sketch?
It is. So Cubicasa is, open for business to the industry, in a variety of different ways. So first, we do have contracts and direct business relationships with several different AMCs and property data panels that are out there. There's certainly many different companies, including Clear Capital, who have Cubicasa technology embedded in their process, and AMCs who don't have, let's say, a property data collection panel of non-appraisers and who want to leverage companies to go collect that data for them, for their appraisers. That model is certainly something we're seeing used in the marketplace. So that'd be number one, is as an AMC trying their best to work out those relationships so that you get the floor plan on behalf of the appraiser and the appraiser doesn't have to, spend their time chasing it down. In my mind, that's the best model. But there's a second model that we're about to support via the Cubicasa website that will be released in June, where essentially we're going to create the ability for anybody who has a Cubicasa account to send an invite to do a scan to a person of their choosing. So in essence, what that means is an appraiser who could create a Cubicasa account and then just go to our website and say, please send an invite to do a floor plan to, be it the homeowner or the listing agent. And then the listing agent and homeowner would receive that invite. They could quickly do a scan and they don't have to make a Cubicasa account. They don't need to pay us. The appraiser would have would be paying that for that. And hopefully I would hope the AMCs would be reimbursing the appraisers. Right. So there's different ways to do it. But I think our technology is so easy to use that even the homeowner can do it. And that's what makes it unique. There's no hardware required. There's no training required. So we're really trying to make it as easy as possible, especially with this release coming in June for people to use it.
Okay. So you mean I can go to my app store right now and download the Cubicasa app and I'm good to go?
Correct. That's
Oh,
exactly
wow.
right.
Okay. That easy. All right. Well, then
Yeah.
everybody should give it a try, including me. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you. And if anybody wants to come learn about it, I'm sure you're going to be at Valuation Expo in September in Las
Cool.
Vegas.
I believe we have a booth and everything. So,
Gee, I'm shocked. Yeah. Place to be. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
thanks, Joan.
ProxyPix is the first of its kind on-demand system for getting location-specific media you need from wherever you are. Their simple-to-use platform creates an online marketplace matching people needing property photos with proxies or data collectors near the requested location. Through crowdsourcing, you can get your current up-to-date photos of anything on the map within hours, if not minutes. Never before has it been simpler or more economical to get the property photos you need. Sign up at proxypix.com or download the ProxyPix app available on Google or Apple Play. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Joan. We appreciate all of our listeners for joining us as well and the sponsors for helping us put these on. If you have any questions or would like to submit an idea for a future Buzzcast, reach out to us at comments@appraisalbuzz.com. Thanks and have a great day.